The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tones, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 145 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews, powered by Scooter's Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like these signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooter's Coffee. We're back, episode, like I mentioned, 145, another week to talk about St. Louis Blues hockey, another week to talk about ups and downs, and no clue what this team is going to do on a week-by-week basis. Dakota is not here yet, but he should be joining us. Our special guest for this week is none other than almost NHL, what was it, NHL fourth star? Is that what they called it?
Yeah, NHL 4-star of the year. Yeah,
almost NHL fourth star of the year. Sam, how are you, Sam?
good. How are you? Yeah, that contest was fun. It was a lot of fun.
You finished
the Minnesota
second,
Wild,
right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know the Minnesota Wild girl won, and it showed her like her pic. They showed the NHL posted a picture of her with all of her gear on. She even had like a Minnesota Wild like hockey helmet on. She did a great job. I actually got in touch with all the other contestants during the contest, just asking questions, talking with them, whatever, getting to know them. And the Minnesota Wild fan was like the one girl I couldn't like find or reach out to. So she was kind of like in my mind, because I couldn't find her or see anything, and she was kind of like a dark horse to me, but she ended up winning. So that was great for her, because I know she was trying to get her class. I think she was a teacher, so I think she was trying to get like her class and her school involved in hockey more often, which I thought was awesome. So
Yeah, that's cool.
all the other contestants, it was well deserved that they were there, and it was cool that she was able to win. But yeah, that just overall, it was a fun contest to be a part of. How have you been, Jacob?
Absolutely. Not too bad. Super busy now that, I am a teacher as well. So coming back from winter break, and it's just been pedaled, to the floor full speed since, it's only been 5 days or 6 days of work, but it seems like it's been a lifetime in the last week and a half. So mentioned that, you got close to winning that fourth star of the NHL contest, but turns out you actually won a contest of being Blues fan for the week. What week was that? Was that recently?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that, is when I officially won. And I got in contact with 101 ESPN, and they said, go ahead and pick an upcoming Blues game for the season to go to. And I was just making sure my work schedule was open to where I could, make the game. And so I picked the Florida Panthers coming up against, Florida Panthers, January 29th. And so I'll be there. They gave me nice seats, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to go. I actually am supposed to come in. I'm supposed to go to I was thinking about going to the game Friday night against the Lightning, but the tickets, I actually tweeted it today. I mean, I get it. It's a Friday night game, but the cheapest ticket was like $65, and I don't know if that's worth it with this kind of team going on. I mean, I know it's, I love the Blues and whatever, but that's a high price ticket for, nosebleeds.
Right. Yeah. No, if I'm looking for nosebleeds, I'm looking in like the $30 range. I'm not looking in the
Right, exactly. That's like a playoff ticket range. I'm like,
right. No. So it'd still be cool to see. I know the Florida Panthers, Matthew Tkachuk should be on his way back. He should be playing, I believe, now. But I know, God, drawing a blank on their superstar center. Really good player. I can't think of his name right now. That's not good. I should be able to come up with it. But I know he's out for the season, might be back for playoffs. But still, you're watching the two-time defending NHL champions, Florida Panthers, against our Blues. So to earn free tickets, you did mention you were flying in. So where are you located?
I'm right. Like I'm in St. Louis a lot, but I work out of Texas.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I have those days off. I'm able to, I'm able to get myself to St. Louis by then. So I was like, that'll be easy money. I'll be there for sure. Yeah, so it's good. It's hard. I'm actually thinking about potentially going to I'm trying to do like some sort of like away game this upcoming month, whether it's Dallas or Colorado before the season's over. I always try to I try to like go to more away games since I've been to so many home games.
Right. Yeah, and it's always cool seeing the other stadiums. Especially cool being in the stadium if the Blues can pull off a win. Just being like, haha.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy the other day where I was actually in Colorado like last season or 2 seasons ago where we scored like 8 goals in Ball Arena. That was a fun game to be at.
That's exciting. Oh, that would be fun. I'd probably get myself in trouble if that happened. I'd be saying stuff that
actually there was actually I didn't see it, but I felt it, but there was somebody that fell like 5 rows. He was highly intoxicated, drunk for sure, and he fell from like 5 to 8 rows behind me, and he ended up kicking the back of my head, and then he got up and walked away and like tried like leaving the section and going into like the atrium. And I told security, I said, don't let him leave, don't let him drive, because he is highly intoxicated. And I told him to follow that guy so that he didn't like leave or anything. And that was the last I saw.
Oh, well, hopefully that dude was okay.
Yeah.
Was he a Colorado fan or was he a Blues fan?
He just had street clothes on, so I don't know.
Oh, it's like he was just there for the beer, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some hockey then. Not a whole lot of super exciting news to talk about. Last episode we got a little excited because to kick off 2026, the Blues were 2-0. Had some good wins. We did have that one quick loss that we got our butts kicked on New Year's Eve for Colorado that we had to cover. But we kind of glossed over that one and then got to talk about being undefeated for 2026. Then Wednesday happened. January 7th, the Blues played against Chicago Blackhawks. The first thing I have to say is I hated the fact that this was Blues versus Blackhawks, but it was that Wednesday rivalry night that ESPN or TNT, I think, airs. And it ended up being like a 9 o'clock or 9:30 start. It was something super late, which was...
Yeah, it was scheduled for 8:30. The puck drop didn't happen until like 8:50 something. And it's like, what are we doing, man?
Right.
Like, I know I think they had like an Eastern Conference game going on before ours, but that wrapped up like right at 8:30. I'm like, we didn't need an extra 20 minutes of whatever that was. I mean, they're probably trying, like, in case I guess maybe in case like the Eastern Conference game went to overtime or what have you, they wanted to have enough space in between to cover both games. But I mean, it's like, if you're gonna poorly coordinate it like that, then it just, I don't know. It's like, it's like there's got to be a better way of doing this, because we don't want to see an extra 20 minutes on a weeknight with the game starting at 9 p.m. where both teams are centrally located in the same time zone and people got to work the next day. It's not good.
Yeah, it was not exciting to watch, or at least to get started. You already have a bad taste in your mouth because you're like, this game is taking forever. And instead we're stuck listening to Paul Bissonnette and whoever was on the panel talk about either the Blues Blackhawks game that was about to start or whatever game had just ended. And we're like, well, let's just start the game. Tonight's game against Carolina is being aired on ESPN Plus and Hulu. So I'm wondering how the timing will be on that. It is supposed to start at 6:30. we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
I luckily have ESPN Plus. I think in like 15 minutes here, I'm going to throw on the pregame and just put it on a mute and see how it goes. But
Yep.
yeah, we're hopefully, and because it's in early, it's not too bad of a start puck drop
Right.
time.
So that game started off rough just with the scheduling of the TV and having it late and all that. And then the actual game ended up being rough. Blues ended up losing 3-7. I don't even care about the game. I don't really want to talk about it a whole lot, but I think we need to talk about what happened towards the end of that game. And after the Blues gave up their 7th goal, with about 5 minutes left, there's the whole ordeal of Jim Montgomery motioning to Jordan Binnington to tell him to come off the ice, then looking the other way to the end of the bench, noticing that Joel Hofer is not on the end of the bench, not knowing where then Joel Hofer is. Jordan Binnington gets to stay, and then the picture comes out of, the picture of Jim Montgomery on the bench and Joel Hofer kind of almost looking like he was hiding in behind him down a hallway. So, Sam, what's your take on that whole ordeal and all of that going on?
I mean, that's actually like a first. I've never seen that before. Watching hockey, especially like as a backup goalie, he's always usually right there at the end of the bench. So it's like, was he in the locker room for like to go to the bathroom, or did something happen? Was he feeling sick, or like what was the reason he was just way back there down the tunnel on the around the corner of the wall playing peekaboo? Because like you never see that as a backup goalie. I mean, unless something happened or like there was some maintenance on his equipment that he kind of knew it was coming and he needed to like fix something back in the, I don't know. It was super weird. And then it just kind of ended up being a joke around the NHL after that.
Mm-hmm. Do you put any stock into the fact that Binnington got pulled earlier this year, and there was kind of Binnington gave Montgomery some lip about being pulled because he was pulled pretty early. He was pulled pretty quickly in the first period of a game. Now we have another instance of a potential-ish clashing of Jordan Binnington with Jim Montgomery about being pulled. Maybe Joel Hofer's in on it, and that's why he's in the back, so Joel Hofer can go in it. Do you put any stock into any of that, or do you think it was all just kind of a what the heck kind of big misunderstanding on where Joel Hofer go and what happened with that?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I get where Binnington's coming from for, being upset, pulled early, what have you. I feel like from Binnington's point, it kind of goes both ways. I see it. I try and be unbiased about these things, but from Binnington's point of view, I can see how it's a little too early to get this going. Your defense and your team overall is slacking on getting back and back checking, getting the puck out quickly, and being efficient with the puck when you're on defense. And I also feel that some shots, not all, but I feel some shots lately these last few months, it just seems like there's some shots where Binnington could have easily made those saves, especially in the NHL. But I think it's just I think it just kind of goes both ways, where from Monty's point of view, it's like both these goalies have been good, but not elite. There was a time where we all know this, where both these goalies have been standing on their heads and playing really well, but it just seems both these goalies are not playing to the tier that we know that they can be at. And maybe that's why Monty feels the flexibility of being able to, pull these guys whenever he wants. And still unknown why Hofer was hiding behind in the down the tunnel. But again, I think it goes back to both these goalies are playing well, but I think they could be better, and they're letting in some shots that they could be easily saving. And I just hope that the defense and the other team can kind of rally around and give these guys a little help so that they can kind of get their minds right and stop more pucks.
All right. We do have Dakota in, and I'm sure Dakota has some stuff to share on this. So, Dakota, we're talking about the Chicago game, but we're focusing right now on the Binnington being pulled, Joe Hofer kind of hiding in the back, whole situation. We talked about kind of where goalies are normally sitting on the bench. Sam is here. Sam Robinson. We have Sam Gibilterra.
Gibilterra.
Dang, I think I did the same thing last time. So Sam mentioned that there are some crazy instances where the goalies are not sitting on the end of the bench, and I know she brings up Hartford for Springfield where they have to sit in a chair in the hallway. I know there are instances similar to that in the NHL. I know there's one where they have to sit like not even on the bench, like they're somewhere across the ice somewhere. But I feel like that's something that they're in, Chicago. They're at Chicago. Chicago is a place that probably has not changed the way that their bench structure is set up in a long time. And Jim Montgomery's been coaching for a long time, so he probably knows where that goalie should be. So I think it was more, in my opinion, I would say it was more on Joel Hofer had moved for some reason, not Jim Montgomery didn't know where he was.
He was having a bathroom break. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to what was going on to that. I don't think anybody's ever come out and say why he was exactly in that position. But I think it's very funny to kind of have that like situation happen where Benner's like, all right, you're gone. Hofer's just out there just tucking his head behind the wall. Like, are you sure you want me to come out? And I thought it added some comedic relief to what was probably the worst showing of the new year. So we needed some sort of comedic benefit to our just an absolute ass kicking. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I don't know. It still begs to be seen whether Hofer's number one, Benner's number one. I mean, we do have one of Canadians' elite goaltenders on our roster, but he just isn't playing to that stature. So,
Sam, does this whole situation and thinking about the situation of Binnington being mad and kind of angry about the polling that he had earlier this year, combined with just the play of the team, are you at any point questioning Jim Montgomery as the head coach right now?
No, I don't think so. I feel like this team, all around, we're seeing stars when we go out there and play, and it just seems like the team overall as a whole is just not on the same page. The team and the coaching not on the same page, and it's showing. And I again, like I said before, I think these goalies I think we have really good goalies. We're solid goalies. Benner was, selected for Team Canada for a reason. And I just think the team in front of him could be a little bit better. He could be a little bit better. And I just think that, like, if we can just get on the right page and get our heads right, I think overall the team will play better. But what was the question again exactly, specifically?
Are you questioning Jim Montgomery as the head coach?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think so. He's trying to do what he can to stir things up, and it's not working, whether it's pulling Benner early or switching the lines or keeping them the same, what have you. But I think more needs to be done. I think overall we do need to make some moves before the trade deadline, clearly. But I'm not questioning Monty too much right now. I think, he's probably just as pissed off as we are when he goes into those locker rooms. When he goes into locker rooms in between periods, he's probably just as angry and upset about, like, why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you guys doing that? But I'm not questioning too much. I just hope that the team and the coaching can come together and find a way to get on that same page and just spark a little chemistry and organization for each night and just take it one game at a time.
Well, my thing too is, like, we keep talking about, like, something has to change and whatnot, but, like, they're not going to fire the whole team. Most of the time when, like, it's a production-based business, the head coach is the first person on the chopping block. Now, we did spend a lot of money to get him and obtain him. Thank you, Boston. But, like, what has to be the change? Because, like, we keep talking about it over and over and over again, but, like, and I think we're bringing up a lot of good topics, but, like, you can't string together 3 games in a row. Like, the Blues haven't won 3 games in a row all year. I mean, there are teams that were in the bottom of the list I mean, I can't remember who we just played, but they went on a 10-game swing. It's like they
Buffalo.
were at the bottom of the Buffalo. They were at the bottom of the bucket, and they strung together 10. So if they can do it, why can't we? They're not. I don't think they might have a better roster, but I would beg to differ. I think we have a good, talented roster. It's a matter of like, did we invest too much in pieces that didn't play well together? Like I will always talk about the Buchnevich signing. Like we offered him way too much money for what his productivity was. Like I think when he finally signed his long-term deal, like he had just hit the threshold of like his highest point total, and then all of a sudden he just went down the tubes. So it's like we got to stop pointing fingers at the coaches and start pointing fingers at the players. But again, you can't just fire the team. So something's got to give. And I feel bad for Steen in this scenario because we put ourselves through a retool last year, or whatever you want to call it, and we made the first round of the playoffs. We were seconds away from advancing to the second round. And then all of a sudden we just go belly up this season. And we're like, okay, cool. We got a lot of the pieces coming together. I wonder what we can do next year. Like, let's say we can advance to the second round. Now we can't even sniff the first.
Yeah, you gotta get in first, right? That's the answer I expected. I'm just at some point, if the losing continues, and it's not even the losing, but it's the continued of just not playing good, consistent hockey. Like at some point, you might have to go. Maybe it is Monty's partial fault. Like Sam brought up the fact that people aren't gelling, or maybe it was one of you guys brought up that people aren't gelling. They're not playing to their potential. They're not playing as good as they should. Okay. That is 100% on the players, but that's also the coach's job, is to get the best out of their players, to put in the right systems that works for the whole team. You can't just come in and say, this is the system I play. You know, maybe if he's I don't know, I'm trying to think of like in the past when we had a bigger, stronger team, Ken Hitchcock's system was really good. Craig Berube, when he came, his system kind of fit with that Ken Hitchcock system. Now we're trying to move to being a faster team that's still playing that solid defense. And I don't know what system that fits in, but maybe it's just not Monty's system. I'm not trying to say that Jim Montgomery is a bad coach, because he's obviously one of the best coaches in the NHL. But at some point, is there going to be a conversation of it's just not working?
Hot take. Montgomery does go. Claude Julien takes over. That would be I would feel like that would be a very pivotal moment for the Blues. Now I do think Steve Ott has always been in question, but with the repertoire that we have, Claude Julien should fit in rather nicely since he is a Blues assistant.
Mm-hmm.
But let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's just everyone buckle in. Like this is going to be one hell of a ride going into February and the Olympics and all that. There's still time. We're not saying that we're going to come from Montgomery's head, but something has to change.
Right. And I'll add, I'm not to the point yet that this is Montgomery's fault. Like, I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying as it continues, we have to blame the players, but I think we also have to, throw the coach in there as well. Like, it's not just the players. It's also never just the coach, but at some point it's a combination of all of them. We did have some comments. Justin Scott, who's come on the podcast a couple times, has mentioned that he's also still in on Montgomery. Montgomery is our coach. It's the Binnington era leaving, the Joel Hofer era potentially beginning. And then also noted that he says it's a players thing. It is, which it is. I mean, 100%. Mike brought up a good point that at this pace, and we are 5 points out of last place in the NHL. We're on pace to potentially be able to draft Ivar Stenberg and get Otto and his brother to play together, which would be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Looking at a couple other ones while we're here. Sam Robinson, guest Sam Gibilterra. Sam Robinson says, rookies like Devo and Otto playing with actual men who have played for years. When these kids don't have a lot of experience in the NHL, you need young blood to help Devo and and Otto. So just giving them some more experience.
I mean, essentially, that's what's going to happen. Like, we're going
to they got to just keep playing.
We're going to end up selling away or getting rid of players who have added to their not draft salary, but their trade stock. Like, we're going to end up going young, which is great. It's just great for retool. Blackhawks did it post Tays and Duncan Keith and Patrick Kane, and it just took them till now to kind of get relevant. This is 2026. And, it took them forever to kind of get relevant again. That's the thing with Blues hockey is we've always kind of stayed relevant. We've never really had that opportunity to tank. And I'm not saying that that's what we need in this scenario, but fuck, we might need a top 10 or top 5 draft pick to kind of like reevaluate our life choices as Blues fans.
Yeah, that might have been the hardest part about the rebuild, or not the rebuild, but the retool that we did, is we never got lucky enough to be bad enough to get like that top 5 pick. The best we got was Dvorsky at 10, who, was playing in the NHL. So it was a really good pick, but how great would it have been if that year when we traded Tarasenko and we traded O'Reilly and we traded Mikkola and Achari went with O'Reilly, if we would have got the 5th overall pick, who I would have to look up to see who that was, but that might have speeded up the process a little bit more. But that draft turns out to be pretty good because we got Otto in that draft and Dvorsky plus Lindstein. So overall, we'll see. All right, Sam, on January 9th, the Blues played at Utah in what ended up being a 2-4 loss, and I believe a Nick Schmaltz hat trick, and Clayton Keller had like 3 or 4 points. Sam, I don't understand. Maybe you can help me with this. Why is it that Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller are the best players in the history of the NHL whenever they play the Blues?
They're certified Blues killers for sure.
I mean, what is it that they can just? I mean, by the way I see Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz play against the Blues, they should have 200 points a year. But if they played that way against every other team,
they just seem like, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this kind of was a good example against our loss. 2 days before against the Blackhawks, 2 days before that game against the Blackhawks, it's just like those two guys are, they're speedy, they're fast, they move really well when off the puck and create space and just create chaos, I think. And that's exactly what the Blackhawks did with us that night. It just you watched the Blues just go left to right playing pong, and the Blackhawks were all over the place. They moved the puck around really well, even when they were on the penalty kill or 5v5. It's just they moved the puck around really well. They moved into empty space really well, and any opportunity they got to just take shots and rip shots, they took them. Whereas we took our sweet time to set up the right play, and it didn't work out. And we went over 2 for the power play. If that was the total amount of power plays we had, I can't remember, but we didn't convert on any of our power plays, and we were just too slow with our game. And the Blackhawks just moving really quick on and off the puck, taking shots when they could. It just ate us up alive, and it showed. And that's exactly what Clayton Keller and Schmaltz do really well, and that's why they're certified Blues killers.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like Utah. For some reason, Utah just has the Blues numbers, and Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller, like you said, certified Blues killers. But I feel like we're a broken record every time we talk about a Utah game. Like, we're just the Blues play the same game every game, and Utah just continues to find the pieces that move around the Blues organization. Like, they just can't handle Utah. Like, they're way too fast. The Blues try, and I give them that. Like, they try to play that long game. They try to play that 200-foot pass game. Like, and it does not pan out. And it's something that aggravates me when I watch these games, because it's like, if you would just, I don't know, like, remember how like football players, they look at film, they look at everybody else's game, not just the game that they just played, but they look at everybody else. How are they moving here? What are they doing here? How do they break down the defense here? If the Blues just spend a little bit more time in the film room, maybe something might click, because it's like a carbon copy every game I see us play against Utah. It's like We try to come out very hot. We try to like understand the forecheck and the defense, and then after 15 minutes, it's like, all right, well, I'm tired. Let's play on our heels. It's like it just doesn't matter.
It's like we're trying to follow a script and a plan too well, and just hockey. That's not how you play hockey. You can study other teams, study their gameplay, study how they are, but the puck's not going to always bounce the same way it did in that tape that you watched and whatever. And players aren't going to skate the way they skated in the last game. Every game is different, and you just have to read it and feel it. And you have to be. It's like a chess game. You just kind of have to. You have to learn to read the plays ahead of its time in order to just change your game style mid game and play better. And that's how you adjust well, and that's how you play better, and you hopefully win more games because of that. And I just don't think the Blues do that enough at all, if they do it.
The next game was the next day, back to back. This is hard. Back to back games. And I know Utah and Vegas aren't super far away, but still, away game at Utah and then an away game at Vegas. On the 10th, Blues lose again 2-4. I don't really have anything much from this game besides we didn't win. I don't remember any controversy or anything. Any issues in this one?
Yeah, I watched that Hawks game Wednesday night, but these two games, Utah and Vegas, I was at work, so I wasn't able to watch it at all, unfortunately.
Wally.
I mean, the only controversy is what happened pretty early on, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. These days are running together, but the hit on I think Mark Stone on Broberg, and then
Mark Stone.
Hey, we're gonna drop him next time. And hey, I thought that was a great fight. That's
awesome.
Braden Shen
It was much needed.
Yeah.
We needed to see some leadership right there, and that was perfect. He did a great job of that.
I didn't think the hit necessarily was bad. It was how Broberg landed on his head was what I think threw everybody off. But I don't think Braden Shen really gave two flying shits, because at that point, you hit one of my guys, I'm coming after you. But Broberg did get he hit his head on the ice, and I think that was why he was all kind of woozy and quoozy. But sorry, what were you going to say, Jacob?
I know the NHL was looking at it as far as after the game discipline player. That's a hard word to say, and it's not school day. So they were looking at action of maybe suspending him, but I don't think anything ever happened. I feel like that would have popped up on my feed at some point.
Yeah, they threw it out.
But yeah, Justin commented here, made a good point. The hit was fine. It was the foot coming in after that kind of caused him to then go down on his head. So the upper body
fall that weird way.
Yeah. The upper body contact was legal and good hockey hit, but the lower body contact and the foot coming through, causing him to land on his head. So this actually works as a good segue, because we wanted to talk about Broberg, but we also want to talk about injury. So before we get into the contract signing and how that's going to look for Broberg in the future, we do have in tonight's game, no Broberg because of a concussion, no Robert Thomas because of a lower body injury of some sort. Matthew Joseph has been placed on the injured reserve. He hasn't played in a couple games. We still have Suter and Holloway that are out, but both of them skated recently. So I'm not sure if that means that they're going to be here within a week. But as far as the timetables that they released, they're still supposed to be out for another 2 weeks, roughly. But they are skating. So maybe they come back early, kind of like how Stuggerud and Walker both did. They both came back early. That's potential. So we have an injury bug is hitting us for sure. And we were fairly healthy at the beginning of the year. Then injury bug wiped us out. And then now we got a little healthy again. And then we started dealing with injuries again, which it looks like we're in the middle of. Sam, do you have something for that?
I was just going to say, it looks like Ukestad will be joining us tonight.
Yes, when they put Matthew Joseph on IR, they were able to take Bukestad off. So it sounds like he's on his way back, which will be good. We're getting some reinforcements back. Sam,
the
do you want
line
to comment
combinations for tonight? The line combinations for tonight are
everywhere?
wow. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hold on. Do you have them pulled up? Let me guess them because I haven't even looked.
Yeah. All right, let's go
So
first line.
The first line is Neighbors, Shen, Snuggerud. No, Neighbors,
No.
Shen, Kairu.
No.
Dang it.
First line,
Shen,
Otto
Buchnevich.
Stenberg. No. Otto
Stenberg
Stenberg,
on the
Braden
first.
Shen. That's what I'm saying. Otto Stenberg, Braden Shen, Jimmy Snuggerud. All right, that's line 1.
Okay. Sam, you want to give line 2 a go?
Oh no, I don't want to try. It's just I'm gonna get it all wrong. I just know it.
Second line, Dvorsky centering. Kairu's on a wing and Buchnevich is on a wing.
Jake Neighbors, Dalibor Dvorsky, Jordan Cairo.
Oh, okay.
That line's going to be fucking quick.
So the third line is... Oh, I'm wondering if they're putting Buchnevich back at center. I really hope they're not. I'm going to say the third line, Bukestad is centering. Buchnevich is on a wing. And they bump up Toropchenko.
No, Jonathan Bergeron. The BBB line.
Oh, yeah, that guy. And then the fourth line is Sundqvist, Walker, Torpo.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The line combinations are. I was kind of surprised to see Otto up there, but hey, give the young kid some time.
He's been playing well. He has
I
been.
mean, we need to change something up. I mean, if he's doing well, he's doing well. I mean, that's all you can say. And it should be
I'm really
rewarding.
excited to see. I'm excited to see that Jake Neighbors line with Dvorsky and Kairu. Because Dvorsky, I believe, is one hell of a passer. I think his shot is what everybody talks about, but the way he finds players is uncanny. It reminds me a lot of young Robert Thomas.
Yeah, and that's another thing as well for this team. It's just like we always try and find like these like easy script passes, play by play, follow it to a T. And it's just like sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you have to be creative and find unique ways to keep control of the puck, find open players that, and just sometimes in the most unorthodox way, but just be quick with it, be creative, and I don't know. We got to find ways to just think on your feet and be better at that instead of just trying to look for the easiest, simple play because sometimes it's not always going to be there.
Yeah, it's hurting down the middle makes the Lions have to be a little bit different. Just with having no Suter and no Thomas now. I mean, that's your top two probably centers, and I know Dvorsky is working his way up to being that second center, but still kind of in that third range, I think, right now. Plus Suter and Thomas is their ability on the back end defensively or on the penalty kill is missing. Those two are going to be hurt. Yeah. So, all right. Happy time. Sam, what was your reaction or your thoughts when you saw the signing of Philip Broberg for 6 more years following this year at $8 million a year?
I like it. I think he does well. And I think keeping him around overall is really well. We definitely need some defensive help for sure, and hopefully we can take these young guys that we're kind of slowly bringing into the mix. Hopefully it's just like the start of our really good core for the next set of years when Steen takes over.
Dakota?
I mean, I kind of like looked at it and then immediately thought we had just talked about this maybe 2 weeks prior to it. But the money that he received, we had just like quoted, I don't know what podcast it was, but you were like, he's probably going to get around exactly what Thomas and Kyrie signed for or Booch signed for. And I was like, perfect. You got to sign now. It's only going to add value over time. And he's such a young defenseman, but he's such an offensive defenseman that you're like, it kind of gets odes to like the Pronger days or the McGinnis days. Like you see a lot of that in him. And you're just like, this is somebody you can easily build a team around. I just wish his counterpart Dylan Holloway in that like little acquisition would stay healthy. It'd be really cool to see what a full unit would do with Holloway and Broberg. But signing Broberg to 6 years, let's fucking go.
And it's a good timeline too, like for wanting to start rebuilding now, like seriously rebuilding now, and moving things around, selling player, whatever it is, and just to make sure that he's going to be part of that future. It's like, oh, okay, we can take a breath. All right, what's next?
And it helps Steen out too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have the guy signed long term that should be your number one defenseman once Parayko either continues to slide. I don't think he's just not scoring at the rate that we would prefer him to. But he's still considered a pretty elite shutdown defenseman, despite the stats of the St. Louis Blues for this year.
Right, the guy gets elected to play in the the Olympics, and he hasn't scored a goal.
Right.
It's like something's not math. The math isn't mathing right here. So I mean, he must be an absolute all-world defenseman, which he is. But like, I feel like production value also needs to kind of play some sort of role in that. But hey.
Right.
Have you guys seen like the locker room videos and the ice rink videos for the Olympics?
Like how bad it is?
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like you're at an old like Afton ice rink or something like that, and it's just like it's first.
Did you see the scoreboard
prototype? It's like it's like really thin and small, and it's like right at the it's like it's not lower down by the ice. It's like way up by the ceiling of the entire venue, and so you got to go like this, like you're the first row of a movie theater to see it.
Yeah, and it looks like a scoreboard that they found from a small high school that only has 400 kids in it. Like they just go like, yeah, that scoreboard, that's what we want. That's the one. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure there's going to be some controversy about the ice. There's also the fact that the practice rink for the teams is not done yet. They're still working on that. The actual rink where games are going to be played, they are hosting other Italian league games there to make sure that it is ready to go. But the practice rink is not ready yet. So that's a problem.
Let's get on that.
I know, right? Like you have less than a month. I think maybe right at a month. It might start pretty close to, it's early February. So maybe right at a month.
It's like my third day out here. I don't know.
Going back to Broberg, Justin Scott did comment and say absolute steal. And I think I'm going to agree with this. I kind of thought that Broberg would have been the deal with how limited our defense is and how we desperately need that long-term solution because Falk is gone either this year or next year. We have Cam Fowler signed for 3 more years, but he hasn't been excellent this year. Parayko is going to be on the downhill at some point. I thought Broberg might have been able to leverage that a little bit and at least get over what Kyrou and Thomas are. But it's kind of nice that Kyrou and Thomas contract is still holding down some of our other contracts. It's working kind of like what Sidney Crosby did. In Pittsburgh, Sidney Crosby took a hometown discount, and then it was very hard for players to go into Pittsburgh and demand more than what Crosby was getting paid. And I think, and I'm not trying to compare Robert Thomas and Sidney Crosby as the same player, but I think that is helping here of, hey, like Robert Thomas is our guy. Robert Thomas is our star player. You want to make more than him? How about this? Like, that's just, it's a talking point that I think is working right now to keep some of those. Buchnevich probably wanted more, and maybe that conversation was in there. Broberg may have wanted more, and maybe that conversation was in there to say, I can't give you 9 because we're only giving Thomas 8. Yeah, at some point that's going to get higher, but
it was very cap friendly, especially with the way the cap's going to be going. This is really good for us.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to tell you guys about places you guys should go buy things. And then we're going to have some fun with some Teach Me How to Doug and some Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I told you about scooters earlier. Specifically, if you guys can check out the scooters on Highway 143 and Troxler Way in Highland or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville, that we would prefer that. Those are our people. If not, you can check out the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. So go get your coffee. Also, do us a favor, check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook. They're a family-owned and run small business that is operated out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs. They have options that are typically ready upon request, and they can also complete requests for custom jobs. So if you have a youth sports team or something else that you want to get done, they can do custom jobs, or he has Blue Notes, Cardinals, all that stuff, which also crazy Cardinals news today. Nolan Arenado, Connor. I didn't even see the package. I don't know if it was good or not, but I'll have to look into that. And then lastly, Imprint Labs. If you don't like laser cut, hand painted signs from Hughes Custom Design, but you want something to put on your walls, Imprint Lab is your other guys. Okay. They are either going to make your headwear, your metal signs, your mouse pads, your I don't have a koozie here. I don't know where my koozie is. Your metal can koozies. If you have shit and you want it on shit, they're your people to do it. So check out Imprint Labs. They are on Facebook and they also are on Instagram. So check them out. All right. We're gonna do some teach me how to Doug here for Sam. And Sam, I'm really going to throw you through the ringer here with potential trades that we're going to make. Before I do that, I have a couple things to do. One, I wanted to pull up a comment from Justin that he put on here earlier. I got to find it real quick because he made the comment of the Blues are going to have to not play at Sesame Street safe anymore. They're going to have to move a big piece out of here and not play it safe, which is
Basically
kind
what
of
the Cardinals did.
Yeah, getting rid of they didn't trade Goldschmidt. I think they let Goldschmidt walk, right? Or did they trade him? But trading Nolan Arenado, trading Wilson Contreras, trading all of those guys. So we're gonna do that. That's kind of the theme. But before we do that, we have our super cool intro. Have this memorized, I think.
All right, you're in the chair now. Let's see if you got what it takes to run the Blues. Teach me how to Doug. Teach me how to Doug. You're the GM now. Make a trade, make a plug. Cap space tight, but the roster's got a bug. So show us what you got. Teach me how to Doug. Sign them, trade them, send them down to the A. Build a cup team like it's Judgment Day. You got picks, you got cash. Can you make a splash or crash? Better know your lines and match, because fans don't want to see a playoff collapse. Teach me.
We have to make the playoffs before we can collapse in the playoffs. All right, let's go through these trades. I got 3 potential trades that I went through, and I tried to be intelligent on these. I tried to do some research, but I've also used AI because if you're not using AI at this point in your life, grow up because everyone's using it. So I got 3 trades for you, Sam, that we're going to go through. I'll let you pick 1 or 3 on which one you want to go through first.
1 through just pick 1, 2, or 3.
1, 2, or 3. Which one you want first?
Let's do 2.
All right, number 2. The second trade I have for you here involves Jordan Kyrou. In this trade, Jordan Kyrou is being shipped off to the Carolina Hurricanes for their first-round pick this year, a conditional second-round pick, which is dependent on them making it far somewhere into the playoffs, maybe like the Eastern Conference Finals or something like that. And we also receive right winger Bradley Nadeau. Some background on Bradley. He is a right winger. He's a former first-round pick. He's currently 20 years old. And right now, according to Daily Faceoff, he is the number 2 prospect in the Carolina pool. Their number 1 prospect is Alexander Nikushkin, which is a defenseman who I think is playing in the NHL right now. So you're getting a former first-round pick, a first-round pick this coming year, and a conditional second, depending on how far how Carolina does in the playoffs. Is that something you, as Doug Armstrong, would be willing to move off of Jordan Kyrou for?
I think that's an easy yes, in my opinion. I like Kyrou a lot. I love watching him in his when he first started here, but I just feel like he just doesn't. I feel like he's inconsistent on performing and becoming a team leader, especially like becoming more of a veteran player. It just seems like that lack of his lack of talent isn't his amount of talent isn't showing. His leadership just doesn't seem to be there. And it's like when you have Falk as your number one goal scorer right now, it's like I don't know. We like we've said before. I think we need to start a hardcore rebuild and not just do minimal things. Get rid of star players so that we can get back to that cup contending window in the next handful of years with Steiner as our GM. And I think that's a good place to start. And getting rid of Cairo, I'd be fine with that easily for what we get in return.
Mm-hmm. All right. Dakota, you want to take a stab at that one? Are you good with Cairo out?
Yeah, I'm good with him out. You didn't mention anything about who would be eating most of that salary, right? Because I believe he still has 2 years left, 3 years.
Jordan Cairo, he's at like 5.
5. Okay, so who's eating? So are we going to split that evenly, or are we going to eat
No,
most of
it's
that?
all going to Carolina.
Carolina's taking all that. Fuck yeah. See you later, buddy. Have fun.
Yeah.
No, I wish people understood that like playing hockey, like points matter, and like you could be all fucking pizzazz. You can fucking stick handle your way into all-star games and whatnot. I mean, fastest skater, whoop-de-doo. But if you're not producing at a high level, there are younger kids that will outplay you, and that's what I've seen this year. If there's one thing that I've seen through and through throughout our entire lineup, is that Kyrou who? Like, you got guys like Dalibor Dvorsky, Jimmy Snuggerud, hell, even this like Jonathan
Otto
Bergeron,
Stenberg.
like Otto Stenberg. Those guys are hungry. They could give 2 rats fucks what you do or how much you make. They are playing for their livelihood and their career.
I'd
rather have a
this
guy
to
making
happen so they can move up in the line.
exactly that. They're making league minimum and out here skating 200 feet and then some. So for a guy like Jordan Kyrou, who has literally bought his way onto the team, like you got to start producing. Otherwise, you're gonna be playing somewhere else. So see you later, buddy.
All right. Sam, I'm going to tell you the first one's the craziest. The third one is just kind of regular. So are you ready to go crazy or you want to save it for last?
Let's get crazy.
All right, get crazy. The next trade involves the St. Louis Blues and the Anaheim Ducks. We're good trade partners. We took Cam Fowler from them last year. But this one involves Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko. You're trading both of these players, no retaining salary at all. They're taking all Parayko's full contract and Thomas's full contract. In return, you're getting a 2026 first-round pick, so their first-round pick for this year. You're also receiving Mason McTavish. He's a 22-year-old center that was drafted in the first round. He's also got I think, $7 million contract for the next 5 years, so he's signed long-term. You are also receiving a prospect named Tristan Leno, who is a right-handed defenseman. He was originally drafted in the second round, but he is 21 years old and currently the number 4 prospect for Anaheim. So you're kind of McTavish is replacing Thomas. Leno is replacing Parayko. You're also receiving Pavel Mintyukov. That's a hard word to say. He is a left-handed defenseman, former first-round pick. He's 22 years old, and he is playing in the NHL right now. Okay, so you're getting a right-handed defenseman for the future. You're getting a left-handed defenseman for now. And they're also going to throw in a goalie prospect that was 19 years old, drafted in the 4th round. That could be like who knows what happens. So you get a former first-round center, a second-round pick right-handed defenseman, a first-round pick left-handed defenseman, a goalie prospect, and their first this 2026. Is that worth to you, Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko?
Absolutely. I like Robert Thomas, but I don't think he's anything super special right now. Or lately that I've seen, I understand he's like one of our star players for sure. But again, it's just like I feel like a lot of our star players they're not performing to the talent and the stats I know they can get to. So if you can't do it, then I'm sorry, but I gotta boot you out of here. And to get a young defenseman, draft pick, goalie prospect, especially with two goalies that are just kind of like in their own head right now. Um, I love it. I mean, Preko again, he's a great defenseman, big body. I like him. He's got a powerful shot. But again, I feel like he's on the decline right now. So yeah, I would easily do it.
Dakota's been shaking his head yes, I think the whole time.
Yes. Again, I'm the first person to say Robert Thomas is my guy, but barring like what we've seen this year and like just kind of like the whole grand scheme of things, I think us as fans, the first thing we think about is we just want to get back to the playoffs. And if our guys kind of like aren't gelling well, like we got to start trying to find some replacements. Did you mention the contract of Mason McTavish? Like what is his years and what's the AAV?
He's $7 million a year, and I believe it's 5 years left on it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now you're
That's
cheaping
perfect.
it. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I like that. Again, it sucks hearing Thomas's name being trade rumors, but yeah, I mean, anything to build the roster up. And fuck, we've talked about Mason McTavish a number of times on this podcast, but getting a prospect, getting a draft pick, I mean, when you kept listing off things, I was like, hell yeah. Like, shit, I'd sell Thomas for a bag of rocks right now at this point. So just keep on that to it.
Yeah. And
you got TJ in the booth right now for this Blues game. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was in town for the Hall of Fame ceremony last night, or is in town for the Hall of Fame ceremony. There's not a lot of precedence for trading players like Robert Thomas or like Jordan Kyrou who are in their prime, signed long-term to very team-friendly deals. There's not a lot of precedence over there. Mm-hmm. So people might hear that and say, Anaheim is giving up way too much, because they are giving up a lot. I mean, they're essentially giving up 3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a goalie prospect that they picked in the 4th. So they're giving up a lot. But you're talking about Robert Thomas, who has 5 more years on a very team-friendly deal, and then Colton Parayko, who we've talked about, is on Team Canada, so one of the legit shutdown defenders in the NHL. So if it's Anaheim is a team that's saying, you know what, we're playing well, let's make the jump, let's go for it, I think that does it for him. Mm-hmm. All right, last one for you then, Sam. This one involves Pavel Buchnevich, and this one can hurt a little bit more because we are retaining 25% of his contract for the next, I think, 6 years that he has it. Okay. In return, we are getting Shakir Mukhamadullin. I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. Shakir Mukhamadullin. He is a left-handed defenseman, former first-round pick, currently 24 years old. So older than I think most prospects would be listed as. Originally drafted by the Devils. Devils sent him to the Sharks and I believe the Timo Meier deal. So that's all you're getting, but you're still having to pay Buchnevich 25% of his contract for the next 6 years, for the rest of his contract.
What do you think, Dakota?
I mean, my first instinct was yes, but the pick or the prospect and then the retaining of 25%. I mean, it kind of hurts because you're just sitting on that contract either or, and then you're paying 25% of it to get a guy that might be used as trade bait in the long term. So it's just like at this point you might as well sit on Buchnevich's contract and hope he hits lightning strikes twice. So I would say no.
And also I think if we can, I would say no to it because of the contract part, and because I think if we can get other players around Buchnevich, I think we can get a better game out of him. And it's like I feel like with Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou, I just feel like they were hit or miss with their game. I feel like you get the right players around Buchnevich, and I think he can actually like play. I just feel like I'll get better play out of Buchnevich with the right players rather than Kyrou and Thomas. I feel like.
All right. Let's say these are your three options. For some reason in this fantasy world, there are no other options for trading. But you, as Doug Armstrong, has decided that one of these has to be done. There has to be a shakeup of some sort. What is the one that you're doing? Are you getting rid of Buchnevich because maybe that's who you would prefer to get rid of, even though the return isn't as great? Are you getting rid of Kyrou? Or are you doing the bigger package for getting rid of Thomas and Parayko, but kind of hurting a little bit more? Because if you wanted to keep anyone, it might be Thomas and Parayko. So which one is the one that you have to pick one? What's the one you're going to do?
I think I have to do number 2, Kyrou.
Here we go, Kyrou. Is that what you were thinking, Dakota?
I agree. Like Thomas sucks to lose, but Kyrou, I mean, he just hasn't produced as what we had thought he was going to, and his contract does not substantiate his production. So yeah,
I think that'd be probably where I go. I don't like the retaining salary part of Buchnevich is the one that hurts. I think if Buchnevich has no retained salary, I might do that. Even though the return is less, you might get more. Did they score already?
No, it's 6:36, and there's still 8 minutes to the game starts. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, but how about Charles Glenn doing the anthem tonight? We're missing that.
Oh, he's doing it tonight?
I don't know. I just got Rutherford just sent a tweet out about it.
Oh, I gotta have the sound on for that. Well, you got 7:50 until he comes on. So, or I don't even know if they'll show. Well,
oh my gosh. Well, yeah, we talked about it being
because it's ESPN Plus. I don't know if they'll show it. Like if it was like local, like FanDuel,
yeah, they would have.
They'd probably show it,
right.
But I don't know if they'll show it on here.
All right. Well, that was a good exercise looking at some crazy trades. Let's do some Who's Line, test your hockey knowledge here, and then we'll get at it.
Yeah, and the good news is if Doug's smart, something like one of these scenarios will happen before the deadline. So you got that going for you.
Guess right or sway, left wing center, right on the dot. Can you name the squad or are you caught? From Boston Ice to Calgary Flame, do you know the line or just the name? Our team wants got to get it right. Whose line is it anyway?
Wally. All right. Let's test your hockey knowledge here, Sam. He ran away.
Sorry, I had to make a quick adjustment on the fly.
You're good. All right. Sam, I'm going to give you 3 players. You have to first identify what team they play for, and then you can go through and figure out the first, second, third, or fourth line. Okay?
Okay.
First one. Left winger, Andre Palat. Center, Nico Hischier. And right winger, Dawson Mercer.
I think Palat, and I have to guess which line they're on?
Guess the team first. What team do you think this is?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Andre, like I know the name, and I can't think of the team.
Andre Palat. Nico Hischier is a former number, I think, 2 overall pick. Dawson Mercer is a good young player. Nico Hischier gets me lots of points.
I know all these names, too. What was the third name?
Dawson Mercer. It is an East Coast team, or not an East Coast, but Eastern Conference team. Yeah, well, actually, East Coast team.
I want to say like Florida or Tampa.
Nope, got to go more north.
Devils?
Yeah, it's the New Jersey Devils. All right, do you think Palat, Hischier, and Mercer are on the first line, second, third, or fourth?
Second.
Nailed it. It's the second. They got Jack Hughes at the first line, so Nico Hischier is centering the second line. Nice. All right. Next one. Parker Kelly, Jack Drury, and Victor Olofsson. This one's hard. It would be hard for me.
The last name, I know the last name. Nothing comes to mind for the first two. Oh,
Victor
shoot, I think they're
Olofsson?
doing it. Olofsson. I have no clue. I only know one of these names by from memory. I only know one of these names, so I can't think of who this would be at all.
This team is in the Central Division.
Utah?
It's not Utah. That's not a bad guess, though. Maybe they have someone similar to an Olofsson on Utah. I don't know. This is the best team in the NHL.
Colorado.
Yeah. It's Colorado. So what line do you think Kelly, Drury, and Olofsson are on for Colorado?
Third?
Yeah, nailed it. You got the lines down. Got the lines down. All right, last one. Denver Barkley, Sean Couturier, and Owen Tippett.
Sharks?
Not the Sharks. There used to be a Logan Couture on the Sharks, which might be.
I know Couturier. I can't think.
Couturier and then Owen Tippett are the names that would jump out at me. I don't know who Denver Barkley is.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last two are the ones that ring a bell.
Yep. We're back in the Eastern Conference.
Couturier. Tippett. Couturier. Montreal or Florida?
No, neither of those. I do think Owen Tippett was drafted by Florida, though. I could have made that up. I'm going to fact check that while you think.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, I was right. Owen Tippett was drafted by the Florida Panthers, 10th overall. They wear orange.
It lagged there. What did you say?
Oh, they wear orange.
Oh, okay. You said East Coast, right?
Coast.
Orange.
Wears orange. We've done some deals with them in the past.
Oh my God.
Hayes, Braden Shen, Yori Laterra went and played there.
Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Flyers. So what line do you think Mr. Barkley, Couturier, and Tippett are playing on for the the Philadelphia Flyers?
Second.
Second. See, you got the lines down. The lines were easy for you. You're like, second. That's easy. Just got the teams. Teams are hard. I don't even know who's centering their first line. I couldn't tell you. I think they're actually playing well.
I suck at these types of things. I'm a visual learner. I need to see it. But I somehow got 100% on the lines.
Nailed the lines, and easy too. Every time I gave you the line, you're like second, third, second. I'm like, you got it. All right. We're an hour and 9 minutes in, which is usually around our good stopping point. Sam, was there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to today?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. We've covered trade stuff, what the Blues need to do. We've covered, our mistakes towards the end of 2025 and into 2026. I was thinking about going to the game Friday, but the ticket prices are it's not a good business move on my part because there's like 60 something bucks for the cheapest ticket. But I know the Blues play in Dallas at the end of this month, and I probably won't go to that game. But I do believe we play them in Dallas again at the very beginning of February, and I'm going to be trying to go to that game for sure at American Airlines Center. So hopefully I can make that game. But before that, I'll be at that game against the Florida Panthers in St. Louis as well. So that's all I got left.
Yep. That game you were mentioning in early February is actually the Blues' last game before the Olympic break.
It is,
So
yeah.
if you want to watch Blues hockey, you got to do it there because otherwise you're going to have to wait a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Sam, thank you so much. Listeners, make sure you guys are checking out Scooters. Get yourself some coffee. Check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook and Imprint Labs on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a follow, like, share. Sam, are you doing anything on social media with your Blues fan base? Or I know you were like pretty active on social media when you're doing the NHL 4-star thing, but didn't you have a podcast?
Section 314 is the podcast.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah. We don't. I'm out of town a lot. I'm always on the fly, and my scheduling with my co-host, she can only do nights, and my schedule is always changing. So we don't post probably as often as you guys, but yeah, we actually just released an episode a couple days ago about Blues fans crashing out, losing and stuff, the 3 losses in a row, all that.
All right. Well, good. Then you would have listened to this whole podcast, heard this at the end of it. So now it's time for you to go check out Sam's podcast in Section 314. Give Sam a like or follow, give us a like or follow. And then as always, Sam, give us a big let's go Blues and we'll get out of here.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me, and let's go Blues.
Yes, sir. All right. See you, everybody.